Now, fans of the Channel 4 show Gogglebox, which films members of the public watching TV, will have noticed that in recent episodes one well-known family has been missing. The Michaels have taken part from their sofa in Brighton since the programme began in 2013, but have had to stop appearing after Father Andrew Michael was selected to stand for UKIP at the general election. We sent Ellie to meet them.
It's got a very catchy tune.
Very. Do you know, I love this cartoon thing at the beginning. It's the manufacture of legislation.
Oh, is that what it is?
What do you think it was?
I have no idea. See? That's why you're the politician.
What is it about?
And I'm not.
It wasn't difficult, honestly.
Honestly, I swear, I've never got it.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Ellie.
Hi. Oh, sorry. Good choice, though.
Yeah,
Good choice.
well, there we are.
We wouldn't miss it.
What can I say? Constructed reality. Can you believe it?
So you're used to being on Gogglebox, used to being on the telly. What was it about? How did you then make the leap to become a UKIP candidate?
Oh, that's such a good story.
Oh, well. Usually we just watch Channel 4, Jon Snow. But for Gogglebox we had to watch the news as reported on a number of channels. And the more we watched it, the more I discovered that I was resonating with UKIP views. It was an organic process. If I'm honest with you, it actually grew out of watching loads and loads of news programmes constantly, and I just found myself agreeing with UKIP's ideas. At the age of 55, I decided to get up off this famous armchair of mine and actually do something about what I felt passionate about, and that was UKIP.
And do you think, with voters having seen Andy on his sofa and feel like they know him?
Well, everybody feels that. I mean, everybody feels that they know us, and because of course they do, because it's a very intimate thing, isn't it? When you're at home, and it's lovely because they all say, and I think it's the same for politics, that they all say, "You say what we think."
Were you surprised when he said he wanted to do it?
Not really, actually. I think it's surprising that it's actually happening, but actually the process leading up to it, I think it's really well suited to him. So it wasn't that surprising, no.
Louis, you did look a bit more surprised.
I didn't think that he'd ever get up off his arse, but he's proved us all wrong. There is some spark left in him.
Yes.
I mean, it's like Michelle and Barack Obama over here. But
very similar.
I'd rather that than Neil and Christine Hamilton, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know who those people are. So.
My fellow UKIPers, sorry guys.
You're not angry with your husband then for making...
Yeah, we were angry. Of course we were. We were very angry. But we could see the bigger picture.
And there's every possibility that that he'll be on the telly campaigning and doing a politics thing, doing a more serious thing than Gogglebox. Will that be weird?
As long as he's not filmed eating a sandwich like an idiot, I think we'll be okay with him being on the TV.
Ellie looking very comfortable there. Well, as his son said, Andrew Michael did get off his backside and has come to our less comfortable studio here in Westminster and on the BBC. Welcome to the Daily Politics. Why on earth do you think you can make the transition from armchair politician to real politician?
Thank you for inviting me onto the Daily Politics show. Why can I make the transition? I don't know if I can, is the honest answer. We'll see, time will tell.
But there must have been some momentum. It can't just have been from literally sort of being filmed, watching the television that made you think, I could be a politician.
It was that.
Was it?
Yeah.
And why UKIP then?
Because everything they said resonated with me, everything they said struck a chord with me, and I went forward for an opportunity that became available in Hastings and Rye. The local UKIP branch selected me, and I'm very privileged to be their parliamentary candidate for a beautiful and historic constituency, and I will give it my best shot. It's essentially a two-horse race. Traditionally it has been in Hastings and Rye between the Conservatives and the Labour Party, and I'm going to make every endeavour that I can to turn a two-horse race into a three-horse race with hopefully UKIP winning by a length.
Now, your wife or family have said they're surprised, a bit annoyed that you had to give up Gogglebox to allow you to stand for Parliament. Do you have sympathy with them?
Caroline was quite upset, to be honest with you, but we had 5 days to discuss it and sort it out. basically
5 days.
5 days, yeah, was agreed with UKIP and was agreed with Channel 4. Basically, we had a number of family meetings, and what happened was that the children essentially interviewed me.
Right.
And they said,
and they felt
"Now,
you passed.
Dad, how much do you really want to do this? How much do you really want to be a UKIP MP?" And they were quite rigorous about it, and they were quite thorough, and I think I passed.
Right. Now, UKIP had a candidate in Hastings who's called Ralph Atkinson. He claims he was ousted in favour of you. Is that what happened?
That couldn't be further from the truth.
Enlighten us.
As far as I know, and I'm not I'm not privy to the detail of it, he didn't get on with the local branch. They deselected him. The opportunity arose, I went for it, and I got it.
Right. So you weren't parachuted in, if you like, because you've become a TV celebrity.
Absolute nonsense. Apparently, Nigel Farage and I are gogglebox buddies, and so I was parachuted in. Complete and utter fabrication.
What does your family think of Nigel Farage, then? Because in one episode of Gogglebox, your wife, Caroline, said that Mark Reckless isn't very charismatic, is he? To which you seem to agree. Do you agree?
I've never met the guy. He seems all right to me.
So, what about Nigel Farage? What does your wife and family think of him?
We think he's OK. Basically, what he says strikes a chord with us. I'm looking forward.
What particularly? What's
to
the one thing, the one thing that you would say you completely identify with in terms of UKIP's policies?
I'm looking forward to meeting Nigel Farage at the conference in Margate. Where I identify with UKIP is essentially on the issue of Britain's misplaced membership of the European Union. The history of Britain's membership of the European Union has been like trying to put a square peg into a round hole, and it's time we pulled out our square peg from Brussels and brought it back to Westminster.
Right, now in another episode of Gogglebox, you've also discussed whether UKIP is racist, or at least has racist elements. Do you think the party does have a problem in that regard with its reputation?
To be honest with you, I do find myself occasionally defending the charge of UKIP being racist, and of course we had that silly programme last night also.
Well, just hold it there, because
OK.
that Channel 4 aired a documentary called Meet the UKIPers, which featured, as you see, some controversial comments from a former UKIP councillor. Let's have a look.
The only people I do have problems with are Negroes. And I don't know why. I don't know whether there's something in my psyche, or whether it's karma from a previous life, or whether something happened to me as a very, very young person and I've drawn a veil over it, because that sometimes happens, doesn't it? But I really do have a problem with people with Negroid features. I really do. A friend of mine said, "What would you do if I invited you to dinner? I put you next to." I said, "I wouldn't be there." Simple as that.
Let me just correct, I thought it was BBC Two. Can't believe I made it with Channel 4.
Indeed.
Getting confused
It
with the
was BBC
Gogglebox.
Two, yeah.
Her comments.
I was stunned, to be honest with you. Ignorant and racist, and I'm glad she was immediately expelled from the party.
But how did she get into the party in the first place? Not great, is it, if you hold those sorts of
Well,
views?
that's-
And actually doesn't seem to have any fear about saying them either.
That's an issue for the South Thanet constituency. I'm not going to comment on their issues.
But how did it make you feel when you heard that?
Uncomfortable. I'm comfortable. I'm the son of immigrant parents. I understand every subtlety of racism that exists in British society, and that was horrific for me, unacceptable, and I'm glad she was kicked out straight away.
I mean, does it worry you that there might be elements of the party who do hold such views?
There are elements of racism in every party and in every walk of life. You know, there's a battle between good and evil going on in the universe, and racism is on the dark side.
All right, we'll leave it there. Now...